And now let's talk about jumps. To create jumps, this is it may look like a very simple movement. However, there are some things that we need to highlight here. When we work with walk cycles and run cycles, well, we suggested some initial poses that you could start. For example, in the walk cycle, it feels like it's easier to start with the contact pose. In the run cycle, it's easier to start with the up pose. However, it's a cycle, and if you start in another pose, you still can do it quite easily. But here in the jump, even if you make it like a cycle, if you start in one pose like this one, for example, I feel like it's very difficult to imagine the jump. In the jump animation, the more important thing to think about are the extremes. So what are the extremes? In this case, let's suppose that we are starting here to there. You see that this pose is equal to this one. So this is an extreme. It's a moment where the character is lower, close to the ground, and is gaining all the energy. Look at the arms. They are very important here in the jump animation because they will lead the jump. Look at the position of the arms here, that they are start rotating here, and then at this pose they are defining the way where the character is going to jump. So this is an extreme pose. Another extreme pose is this one, is the moment where the character is higher. Okay, so I think in a jump movement, you can't start here, neither here. You have to start here. Okay, you can start in a normal pose, like the character is relaxed or is walking, depending what he's doing before the jump. So in this case, he comes like making little jumps. Let's start here. So this is an extreme, and we will start with this pose. And after drawing this pose, I will go to this one, because this is another extreme. So I'll start here. I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 keyframes. So I'll just create them here. Okay, so the first pose. So in this pose here, you can see that the character is shrink and is gaining the energy before the jump. Another thing that you feel here is like the head is coming down also, because he really tries to get into the ground and the arms are coming up. Okay, so this first pose, we bend the legs, we bring the head down. So we did this pose, and now we are doing the next pose. And I told you that we would make this one because it's another extreme. And now let me just call your attention for the legs. So the legs are always doing the same movement. Okay, this works, and you can do it like that. But when you delay one of the legs, the movement or the jump here will feel much more natural. Okay, because when you jump, you have this tendency to make slightly different movements from one leg to the other. So the key here is to choose one of the legs that will be always delayed. Or you can think in the other ways, like one of the legs is always further. So in this case here, we have both feet on the ground. And then when it starts to go up, notice that the right leg is already not touching the ground. And here, this one is all bent here. And this one that is stretched is still keeping a contact, and then is always the right leg that is going in front, and the left one is delayed. Okay, so the right leg will be the first one to touch the ground, and let's make this approach instead of this one. Okay, so now let's make this pose here, where it's on the air, up there in the air, and I will explain a bit that pose. So what we have here is that pose that I showed you, but what I want to call your attention for is, look at the arms. They are trying to keep the body higher as possible, and also the shoulders. The shoulders are overpassing the head because he really tries to get high up in the air, and that's why the head is already coming down, but the shoulders are also pushing the body up. And as you can see here, what I did here is I'm showing the sole of these feet. Here I don't have any, of course, because they are both on the ground. But here I'm showing this sole. I'm showing this one because it's similar to the run that we talked before. This foot is turned inside, and also this one. Since this left foot, when it turns inside, I can see the sole from this point of view. Okay, so this is my up. pose. I will draw some guidelines. Okay, I will bring this character now here. And this is what I have. But notice that this jump here doesn't happen in the same spot. So I will keep my movement exactly like this one. And I'm actually moving my character in the x-axis. However, notice that if I want to make the jump in the same spot, so it's jump here and do it like this, the movement of the body, for example, here, I can't make it like this. Of course, I have to make it on a vertical axis. But since we are going to do another jump exercise, and in that new jump exercise, I will make it jump in the same spot. In this case, I will make this approach, and the other exercise, I will keep it in the same axis, okay? So instead of having this pose here and this one here, I will have this somewhere over here, and then that I will move it after. I'm just concerned now about the poses. Okay, so the poses of each element in the body. So here, I already explained to you that I'm trying to keep the character higher up in the air, okay? And then we will have that one again. We don't need to draw it. So now let's make the in-between is between these two. Let's break apart this animation. And now I will make this one here. That this one here is the last moment before leaving the ground. Okay, this pose is very important. So you see that here the character is stretched, and I can see very well everything stretched here. But when I say everything, it's everything that is important for the movement right now. So this foot is very important in this animation. Okay, I will keep this contact. I'm stretching the foot, I'm stretching the leg, because this leg is the one that is pushing the body up to the air. Okay, so I will stretch this one, but I will not stretch this one. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, but I'm also stretching the arms because I really want my character to go up. So I'm stretching the arms because the arms are those members that are trying to push the body up, and the head is like in between, almost between the arms. So let's do it. I will drag this further, my one here. So here we have like this head stretched, these arms stretched, the foot still touching the ground and ready to go up in the air. So, and another thing here is keep the foot, that the contact foot is coincident with that one. Okay, so this is my left foot and I will keep it there. So we have this. Let me turn it off. Okay. I will put my up pose higher. Oops, I don't want to move everything. So here, this pose, I will bring it up. Now like here, okay. And a bit to the side. All right, so let's now break these two apart and let's make one in between here. So I'm bringing my right leg up. The left leg is still there. In this case, my left arm will be behind this one. They are in the same pose, so I will not draw it. Here, the arms are starting to come further to help bringing the body up. There we go. Okay, so now let's make the second part of this jump, the moment where the body gets ready to go to the ground. So let's take a look here. So what we see here is the character, he starts to get ready to touch the ground. He's going to touch the ground with the right foot. And you can see a slightly stretch here, but the more intense stretch will be here, and everything is stretched. Once again, everything that is important for this pose. So this foot here that is touching the ground, and also the body itself. The head is coming backwards because of the impact that is happening here. So I will first make this one, okay? And then I will make this. First, I will make this one. So I'm stretching this leg, it's already touching the ground. Once again, I'm showing here the sole. Now I'm showing this sole instead of this one because he's making this effort of touching the ground. And if you jump, And if you try to jump with your feet a bit inside, you will notice that that's not really helpful. And that's why here I'm also showing, as the reference shows, turning this foot outside, and the same thing happened with that one, will transmit a much more natural movement. Okay, so here the head is behind the body. In this case, I will bring this one a bit further because I will break apart these two. Okay, so I will have an intermediate pose here, that is this one. Okay, and notice here that the head is coming down, the shoulders are now also a bit lower, the arms also came down. Here I'm already showing the sole, the same one that I'm showing the next pose. Notice that I'm not in this case here since the previous one. So we have, let me just show you this. So here the arms are coincident, and here when they are stretched, they are also coincident. But here I start creating the same difference as I did with the legs. So in this case, the right leg is coming further, the left leg is delayed, and you notice that I'm also delaying a bit one of the arms, and I'm delaying the opposite arm, so left leg, right arm. And here again, I'm bringing further the opposite arm. So if my right leg is the one that is coming further, my left arm is the one that is also coming further. Okay, so let's see how it looks like. Okay, so now let's add this one there. So yeah, there we go. There's a lot of flexibility here. However, we can feel like something is not right here because I see all the poses and I can see the flexibility of each pose. However, this jump doesn't seem natural. And why? Because the timings of each pose are not correct, okay? Because every single frame is being played at the same velocity. It means that each pose has the same time, and that's not real. That's not what happens in a real jump. So I have to make some of these poses to last longer than others. So in this case here, maybe I have to keep the character more time on the ground before jumps. Of course, that then I will make in between it here to feel more correct instead of just freezing each pose. So I naturally need more time here when he's anticipating this jump. Then this pose can last only one. This one here, maybe we will also have to make it last a little longer, okay? And then here, when it's up, well, it has to stand there, hang there a couple of instants. So let's also give it more time, or even a little bit more, okay? So it's standing, hanging there with all the efforts that he can make. Maybe then we will bring the legs a bit, shrink the legs a bit, and the arms also, because we really want to hang in there in the air. So it has to last some time. And then it comes down and down, maybe. Okay, so let's check how it looks like, because in this case, maybe this one also needs one more time. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so I know that it's freezing, but in this case, the timing of the jump is more accurate, okay? So after doing this, and now that we have the timings that are better than they were before, now we can make the in-betweens here. I will not make the in-betweens in this video, so this video I want to keep it short, but in the next one we will make a more complete jump, and we will also consider the weight of a character so we can also play with other parts, okay? So now make this simple approach and try to find your timings, and good work.